Welcome back to Arsenal News TV, and today we're going to look at how Arsenal could line up under Antonio Conte with current Gunners squad, and also face calls to replace Mikel Arteta with Antonio Conte, and we're going to look at how the Gunners could line up under the Italian. Arsenal boss Mikel Arteta is under increasing pressure after seeing his side lose their match versus Manchester City and really be annihilated by the Blues, and Antonio Conte is currently out of work since leaving Inter Milan at the end of last campaign. Some have called for Arsenal to attempt to lure the former Chelsea boss to the Emirates, and I have picked an 11 Antonio Conte could pick if he took over from Mikel Arteta at the Emirates. So there are going to be a lot of changes, and let's get right into it. So the first person in goal will be Aaron Ramsdale. Arsenal spent an initial £24 million on Aaron Ramsdale last week, but Bernd Leno is the club's current #1 goalkeeper. However, Leno has had his worst campaign with the Gunners last season and looks increasingly shaky playing out from the back. Conte may fancy changing it up between the posts and giving Aaron Ramsdale a chance. He will be the club's first choice eventually, so Antonio Conte could speed up the process, and I think he will be the goalkeeper. In terms of the defence, Conte is famed for playing free at the back and will likely switch to that at Arsenal. Ben White, the £50 million summer arrival from Brighton, is used to playing in that formation during his time with the Seagulls, and he is something that will very well suit Ben White and really could establish himself as a real good centre-back and bring his qualities onto the pitch and really emulate what he did at Brighton and bring it to the much needed Arsenal defence. Partnering him in that main centre-back position will be in the form of Gabriel as he is set to return from his knee injury next month and will be the most likely candidate to occupy the central defender role. And Gabriel is someone that has been heavily missed by Mikel Arteta and someone that has still returned into full training in a bit, but he will still return to full match fitness in a bit as well, due to the fact that he is still just returning and he just played his first under-23s match, but he could be the main centre-back position. In that full-back position, teams often use a full-back as part of a back three, and Kieran Tierney has done that countless times before for Scotland. And Kieran Tierney is someone that did play in that position when Mikel Arteta won the FA Cup and the Community Shield, could rejuvenate his position in that place, and he could make Mikel Arteta especially think, why did I not do this, as this is something especially Antonio Conte will do, as he loves to have a fullback in that left centre-back position. In that right wing-back position, Conte's arrival could rejuvenate the career of Ainsley Maitland-Niles at Arsenal. He would be the best suited to playing as the right wing-back in the current squad, and it will enable Antonio Conte to allow him to play in his two preferred positions, such as the right back and the midfield position, and that right wing back position has the mixture of both those positions, something that Arteta did utilise previously, but Antonio Conte will replicate that now. In the central midfield, it will be likely that Thomas Partey will be the first midfielder Antonio Conte would go for, and that is something that Thomas Partey knows himself, that he is a top-level midfielder. He came from Atletico Madrid for a fee of £45 million, and that was a smart signing made by Mikel Arteta and Adu, but due to his injury problems, that's a huge concern for the Gunners, but in the time being, he looks likely to return for the Arsenal, and Antonio Conte will probably have his disposal if he is able to be the manager. And partnering him, it is likely to be Granit XHAKA, even though there has been a lot of concerns about his discipline, like we saw once again against Manchester City where he got that red card, and he's a player that's always going to have a mixed fan base reaction. But is Antonio Conte likely to go with him? I think he will, because I think he'll be suited to his sort of play, and I think if with the right guidance, Granit XHAKA could become the midfielder that Antonio Conte finally unlocks after having different managers that weren't able to get the best out of him. But even Lokonga could fill in that position. Moving into the attack, and in that left wing back role, it will likely be Bukayo Saka, as he has played as a left wing back for both club and country before and made his name in that position during his early days in the Gunners' first team. And Mikel Arteta's reluctance to keep him as a right winger rather than a left wing back could not be said the same from Antonio Conte, as he will probably want to have the best player in the best position, and that left wing back position he will definitely go with BUKAYO SAKA, and he will definitely feature in that position. Moving into the attack, in that number 10 position, in that inside forward, Martin Odegaard could play as inverted number 10s under Antonio Conte, and it could mirror how the current Chelsea team uses the likes of Kai Havertz at Chelsea, and Odegaard could drift inside, which will allow the likes of Ainsley Maitland-Niles and Bukayo Saka to go beyond them on the outsides. And when it comes to Martin Odegaard, he will be able to have that free number 10 throw and really dictate the play. And the same can be said for Emile Smith-Rowe. He could also play as an inverted number 10 under Antonio Conte, and this could mirror what basically Chelsea are doing with Kai Havertz and Mason Mount. Kai Havertz being Martin Odegaard and Smith-Rowe being Mason Mount, and Smith-Rowe has the opportunity to drift inside, which will allow the likes of Bukayo Saka to go through, and that partnership down that left flank with Saka and Smith-Rowe would even be better and well expressed by Antonio Conte, as he knows what he does on the pitch. And up front, it is very likely that Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang would get the nod over Alexandre Lacazette as the main striker, and also need a goal scorer, and Aubameyang's track record proves he is that. And even though there are occasions where we have thought that Aubameyang has lost his form, he has not been what he was before. We saw in the game versus West Brom, but if you give him the opportunity, he will take it. If you give him the ball, he will score. If you give him the bright pass, he will score. And that's something that Antonio Conte will be looking to trying to get the best out of, as he got the best out of Romelu Lukaku when he joined Inter Milan in the first place. So when it comes to how Arsenal could line up under Antonio Conte, I think the goalkeeper will be Aaron Ramsdale, Ben White, Gabriel Magalhaes and Kieran Tierney in the back three, Maitland-Niles as the right wing back, Thomas Partey, XHAKA in the midfield, and Bukayo Saka as the left wing back, with two inverted number 10s in the form of Martin Odegaard and Emile Smith-Rowe, and Aubameyang leading the line. So I want you guys to leave in the comments if Antonio Conte does take over at Arsenal, and the Arsenal fans are urging for Antonio Conte to take over at Arsenal. We know his track record. He went to Inter Milan, they were finishing not in that position where they wanted to win the title. He came in and made them win the title. The same can be said against Juventus, for Chelsea. So many different clubs when they're in a turmoil situation, he comes in and saves the day, and he could do exactly that for the Gunners. But will Stan Kroenke have the ability, have the power to bring a manager such as Antonio Conte?